the path that the fingers will make is a little bit like half a light globe on the side. So if we look at Clayton's movement here, you can see it kind of follows that path there. So if we look at Ali's here, and we'll just move this up to the next one, you can see that path of the hand is very straight and shallow. So it's just sort of making that position. What we want to do is just go a bit deeper. So it goes a little bit deeper through there, and that is going to allow it. Hey, Brenton here. Welcome to Feedback Friday. In today's episode, we're looking at a swimmer, Ali, and going to have a look at what she can do to swim faster and become a more efficient swimmer. Now, if you haven't seen these videos before, this is where we analyze someone's stroke and we look at what are 2 or 3 things that will make the biggest difference to their speed and efficiency over the coming months. And we'd like to break it down in a pretty simple way and just give some structure around how you can go about becoming a better swimmer. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe below, and please like this video and share it with someone who you think could improve by watching these videos. Now let's take a look through the footage here. Now the first angle that we've got here is from the front. Now when you look from the front, she's getting to some pretty good positions in terms of that power diamond shape that we like to achieve as we're passing under the shoulder. So in terms of the catch and the pull from the front, some of the aspects of the catch and pull are looking pretty good. Now I want to focus on really what's happening out in front of the head with the arms and as she's passing under the shoulders. So in terms of body position, you can see this swimmer is sitting pretty well in the water. We've got the head, hips and heels pretty much at the surface there. She looks comfortable, she's breathing well, doesn't look like she's going to be tiring anytime soon. So in terms of what we want to focus on, we've got the fundamentals there and the basics there. Now the biggest thing that you can probably notice here, the biggest thing that we'd like to start with is really just the entry and extension. So if we look at her from the front here, you'll see that one of the things that's currently slowing her down and just limiting her speed a little bit is somewhat of a crossover, as in when the hand enters and extends forwards there, she's really coming across in this direction here. Now, one of the most common things we see if someone does that is for the fingers to rise up. So the fingertips are above the elbow there, and this creates quite a bit of drag. And one of the things that we do at clinics is we do this contrast drill where we get you to kick with your hands in this current position where the fingers are up, and then we get you to put your fingers as the deepest part of your arm. Now this doesn't seem like a lot of drag just by looking at it, but it makes a big difference once you can get your hands to the correct starting catch position. So if we look side on here, you'll see that right hand enters, comes across the head a little bit, and as a result we get that bit of a drift up with the fingers there. And once we get rid of that drift up, once we can get the arm in that starting catch position of fingers below wrist, wrist below elbow, so basically fingers slightly deeper than the rest of the arm, that is going to minimize the drag, but it's also going to help her get into the catch a lot easier and improve that part of the stroke. Now a similar thing happens on the right hand side. I think we get a bit of a crossover as we're coming through here. So the left hand enters good, it's in line with the shoulder, but it does sort of track across a little bit. Now she's not crossing the center line, and I don't mind if someone gets close to the center. We just want to try and avoid crossing that center line most of the time. So yeah, she could go a little bit wider with the left, but the main thing I'm looking at there is, looks like she's actually entering pretty close to the head. So let's just have a look at the above water view, which we've got here. So as we're looking here, you'll see that this hand comes in. No, it's not entering too close, that's all right. It's just really the turn of the hand. So you can see the hand's almost at 90 degrees there. So the palm's facing off to the side. What I normally like to sort of stick to there is either palm facing downwards or about 45 degrees turn of the hand, up to about 45 degrees. So partly because of that angle of the hand there, with it turned off to the side so much, we do get a little bit of that rise happening still. Not quite as much with the left, but enough to make us want to go, all right, we can improve on that and get it to that ideal starting catch position. So first thing I look to do there is just to make sure that we're entering in line with the shoulders and extending straight forward. So getting on those train tracks, so to speak, and then getting to the correct depth out in front to start the catch. Now the simplest drill that you can do for this is the front kick drill, where you've got where you got both arms out in front, you got your fingers below your wrist, wrist below your elbow. Put a snorkel on if you like, wear some fins if you like, but this drill can help you not only get a feel and a sense of where the arm should be as you're reaching forwards, but also making sure that the fingers are the deepest part of the arm. So when you're doing that correctly, you should actually feel the water coming just over the top of the fingertips there. Now it's a bit of a weird sensation, especially if you're used to lifting the fingers up there. But once you get the sense of it 3 or 4 weeks down the track, it does feel a lot sort of smoother. Now, the thing with that as well is, in this position, you actually feel like you're holding more water through the catch because you've actually got that pressure on the hand and forearm. So even though like this can feel like you're getting a better catch when the fingers come up because of that pressure of the oncoming water, it is a slower position. So that'd be the first thing we would then want to work on. Now, the second thing I'd probably look to work on there is then the catch phase. So basically from here, all right, so we want the start of the catch down to here. Now you can see with this left arm that when she finishes the catch, and let me just see if I've got a better angle of it, because then I can show you what she's doing with it. Yeah, you can sort of see it there. Now I'll go back to the other one. So in this position here, you can see, all right, we've got the start of the catch. We know the change we want to make there. Then as we move through the catch, we want to try and get those fingertips pointing down. And if we were to look side on, we'd want to get somewhere in that sort of high elbow catch position, even if it's just slightly. Now the biggest difference there, where she currently is, the forearm is mostly pressing down there. So we want to try and get that forearm and hand pressing back. So what's happening at the moment is from here, you'll see that as the fingertips are sort of moving downwards or pressing down, the elbow is kind of pulling back at the same time through there. And so that creates a sort of dropped elbow position like that. And we just want to get it to that higher elbow catch position. So at the moment, we can improve on that. So the way it might feel for it is that the fingertips from here will probably just sort of be dropping down, be moving down a little bit before she starts pulling back with this part of her arm. So think of it as you're reaching forwards out in front, you're just dropping the fingertips down slightly before you start pulling back with the entire arm there. So what we tend to find happens is the people that are dropping their elbow through the catch phase of the stroke, in a way, and part of that is that this upper arm and the elbow starts pulling back straight away instead of just allowing the fingertips just to sort of move downwards first before you start pulling back. On the right hand side here, now this, you can actually see on this right hand side, this catch position is starting to set up pretty well, like right here at the end of the catch. If we draw a line from her shoulder to her fingertips, look at where's her elbow, it's actually in a high elbow catch position there. And that forearm and hand is set up reasonably well back against that water there. So that's going to propel her forwards pretty nicely. But the one thing that's happening here is she's not quite going deep enough with the arm to be able to get into a better catch position. So basically, if we look from here through to here, you can see that the path that the hand takes is quite shallow and quite flat. So if we sort of trace the fingers, and I know we haven't got the most ideal view, but let me just bring it back a stroke. All right, now that's, yeah, it's not far off at all. So from here through to here, if we trace the fingers, you'll see that it sort of takes this path here. Now, when we look at elite swimmers from the side, and we made a video on this, it's called Why You Need the Light Globe Pull, and I'll put this in the links below. When we trace someone's hand, and I'll pull this up now actually. Now, let's look at this here. This is Clayton Patel, who's a very good triathlete, very good swimmer. The path that the hand takes, if we look side on and we trace those fingertips, you'll generally find it's like, think of a light bulb or a light globe. Have that on its side, and the path that the fingers will make is a little bit like half a light globe on the side. So if we look at Clayton's movement here, you can see it kind of follows that path there. So if we look at Ali's here, and we'll just move this up to the next one, you can see that path of the hand is very straight and shallow. So it's just sort of making that position. What we want to do is just go a bit deeper. So it goes a little bit deeper through there. And that is going to allow it not only to get more power from the stroke there, but it's also going to just kind of allow it to move over the top of the arm, or the hand and forearm, a bit more than just kind of pulling out wide there. So like while this isn't necessarily too wide a position, like she could get away with it, she's probably going to be a bit better off just going down slightly deeper here. So we still want that power diamond shape, and that angle's quite good. But we just probably want to get it down a little bit deeper to give her a little bit more power through the stroke, and it'll actually take some of the effort off the shoulders and off the pull there, because I think she's just on a few strokes like here, going a little bit, just a little wide and a little shallow there. So on that right arm, can go deeper. left arm here can also, okay, no, so that left one's fine in terms of the depth and the path of the hand. It's just on that left one that we drop the elbow quite a bit. So that is what I'd work on there. So how do we go about those changes? Well, if you've been watching our videos at all, you will have seen the YMCA drill and those progression drills that we have in the video membership. That is really the key, and some really good drills that you can do to help familiarize yourself with those change in position there. So when she does that YMCA drill, what she could focus on with that is, okay, we know the right arm doesn't go deep enough on a lot of these strokes. So when we go through those sort of second and third positions in the drill, just got to check in, make sure that we do go deep enough. And with the left arm, we know that one has a tendency to sort of drop down there with the elbow, and for the elbow and the upper arm to pull back too soon. So when she's in the second position, the high elbow catch, we'll just want to really have a focus on that. And then in that third position, which is the power diamond, when we look side on, we generally want the shoulder, elbow, and hand to be aligned. So if you look at this here, if you look at Clayton's video, you'll see that through a lot of these strokes, all right, side on, getting much better alignment through shoulder, elbow, and hand there. Whereas you can see at the moment, just with Ali's left arm, that hand is quite a distance out in front. All right, out in front there, we want it to all line up. Now, the reason for that is surface area pressing back against the water. So that doesn't give you a lot of surface area to press back with. So once we get those fingers down a bit more, all aligned, that is so much more surface area out there. So that's going to be the second thing. So number one, we've got the alignment and the starting catch position. You can keep it really simple. You can just do the front kick drill for that. Or you could progress on to the side kick drill and the 616 drill as well that we've got in the video membership there. Or there are some other drills you can do, but I like to keep it simple, and I find those drills, get you most of the way there. Then after that, it's obviously the YMCA drill to work on the catch position and that power diamond a little bit. Now, the third thing that she could probably do here, I'd be looking to possibly increase the stroke rate a little bit. But my guess is once she fixes up this alignment, so we get rid of this crossover from here to here, that's going to help her get this nice rhythm and flow into her stroke. So while she's got some good rhythm there, if we look from above, just have a look at, you can actually see how there's a bit of deceleration happening with each stroke. So in this reach phase, all right, so through here, because the fingers are up a bit, we're getting a little bit of crossover there, there's this bit of deceleration happening. Now we want to try and have this sort of perpetual motion through the stroke. We want to keep it fairly continuous, and at no point do we want to sort of stop and glide completely or really put the brakes on. So my guess is once we get this reach phase and this entry right, that's going to give her this much better rhythm through the stroke. It's going to reduce a lot of the resistance that's getting created here, and it will just keep her flowing through the stroke a lot better. Her stroke rate will probably naturally increase by 5 or 10%, which is one factor in swimming faster. Not that her stroke rate is slow here, it's a little bit above 60, but that is one thing that she could look at there. So that's kind of going to hit on most of those key things. It's going to minimize drag, it's going to help increase her propulsion, and it's also going to get her into the ideal stroke rate for her as well. So they're really the key things that I would probably start with, at least for the next couple of weeks and couple of months. So going from there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, if you did enjoy it, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you know someone who's trying to improve their swing but they're not sure how, just share this video with them. That's all I ask. And I'll see you next week with another Feedback Friday.